Maraming salamat po sa mga kaibigan natin na mga mamamahayag. At sumama po kayo sa ating online press briefing ngayong araw na ito. Ito po ay tinatawag po ng karapatan at mga kaanak ng mga nawawala para po magbigay ng pahayag tungkol po doon sa naganap na pagdukot at pagkawala ni James Hasines at ni Felix Salaveria Jr. Um, ang una po namin hihingan para magbigay ng mga pahayag ay ang mga pamilya ni James at ni Felix. Mauuna pong magbigay ng pahayag si Ms. Cora Hasines, ang kabiyak ni James Hasines. Susunod po ay si Gab, ang anak po Felix Salaveria Jr. Susundan po sila ng kanilang mga legal counsel, si Attorney Dean Tony Lavinia, para po sa pamilya ni Salaveria, nila Felix Salaveria, at si Attorney Julian Palo mula sa National Union of Sports Lawyers. And then po ang magiging pakulit. Na rin po ang mag-moderate press conference. So, bibigay ko na po ang mikropono kay Cora Hasines, kabiyak po James Hasines.
Okay. Kailan hapon po sa lahat. Babasahin ko po yung press statement ng pamilya. James Hasines, 63 years old, is NDF consultant, Alan Hasines' youngest brother. He has been reported missing since August 23, 2020 and was last seen in Barangay San Lazaro, Tabaco City, in Alban. As of today, efforts by me, friends, and human rights groups to ascertain his whereabouts have been in vain. James is a 1978 graduate of the Philippine Science High School and took up BS Psychology at the University of the Philippines in Diliman. He was the editor of Commitment, the official paper of the League of Philippine Students. He helped set up the Amado V. Hernandez Resource Center in 1984 and became its executive director until 1988. APHRC is a cultural institution that promotes nationalist, pro-people, and scientific culture, especially among the youth. It sponsored the Gawad Ka Amado, an annual literary contest that aimed to support the development and promotion of literature for, by, and the basic sectors. Gawad Ka Amado helped budding writers hone their literary skills. Many of them are now cultural and literary figures who are well placed in the academy. From 1988 to 1992, James served as the information officer of Kilosang Mayo Ino at KMU Labor Center. He assisted in publishing Bagwis, a newspaper dedicated to informing workers about national issues affecting them and their rights to organize unions and providing them an avenue for airing their grievances. He was the information technology consultant of a development NGO up to the mid-2000s and has been working freelance in the IT sector since then. He assisted many NGOs in upgrading their technical know-how when research and information work were undergoing digitalization. As a student activist in the early 1980s, James already experienced harassment through the issuance of arrest, search, and seizure orders, or ASO, for him and other militants. This forced him to take a leave from his studies. Their family has not been spared from other forms of harassment for decades when his brother Alan was being hunted by the military, and especially in the years that Alan was involved in the peace negotiations between the NDFP and the Turkey administration. We are very much worried because James is hypertensive and suffers from chronic leg pain due to nerve impingement in his spine. call on the country's youth bearers to help us locate James and bring him back to us. Ganito po, nag-aalala po kami dahil wala si James at mahigit na isang linggo, dadalawang linggo. So, dahil marami po mga pangyayaring tulad nito, kaya hindi kami ng tulong sa mga nasa posisyon at tumulong sa para ilitaw siya ng ligtas. Yun lang po.
Maraming salamat, Cora. Tatawagin ko po si Gab mula po sa nagbigay ng pahayag para po sa pamilya ni Felix Salaverria. Gab?
Yes. Hello, good afternoon po sa lahat. Maraming salamat po na present kayo, media, ngayong Zoom meeting na ito. So, my sister and I, on behalf of our family, appeal to whoever is responsible for the abduction and detention of our father, Felix Salaverria Jr., to surface him without delay. On the morning of August 28, our father was reportedly abducted from his home in Barangay Cobo, Tabaco City, Albay. We have not heard from him since. We appeal to the public to help us pressure authorities to surface our father. We do not want our father to be just as a statistic. It is important that you know him as a human being and a cherished person in his community. Our father is loved and respected in the community because of his kindness and generosity. He is known for helping those in need. He has been working on community garden to benefit his neighborhood. Our father, Felix Salaverria, graduated from San Beda High School, batch of 1976, and was a sociology major in University of the East in Manila. He is a founding member of Cycling Advocates, or CICAD. His organization promotes bicycling as a low-cost, healthy, and environmentally sustainable form of transportation. He is a true believer in the benefits of bicycling and has taken us, his daughters, biking for as long as we can remember. In addition to bicycling, our father is also an advocate of eco-waste management. Since he moved to Tabaco, he has been encouraging proper waste management and coordinating the transport of biodegradable waste management and coordinating the transport of biodegradable waste for conversion to compost. He even donated to his community a bicycle specifically modified to collect waste for composting. As each day passes with no news of him, our anxiety increases, especially because of our father's age and medical condition. He is frail and suffered a stroke last year in 2023 and was paralyzed on the left side of his body. He is still recovering. We appeal on humanitarian grounds to the authorities who are detaining him to surface our father, Felix, June, to most of his family and friends, Salaverria Jr., immediately, along with the others who have also disappeared. Our families need to know that they are safe and healthy, and we want to ensure that their constitutional rights are protected. Thank you.
Maraming salamat, Gab. Ang susunod pong magsasalita ay si Dean Tony David. Dean?
Thank you, Tinay. Thank you, Gab, for the statement, and Felicia also for the family statement. Cora, of course, I am the legal counsel of Felix Salaverria, asked by the family, specifically the two daughters, to represent him in case later on, there will be cases that will be filed. I'm also the lawyer of the two daughters. We are still gathering all the information that we need to take the next steps, especially the legal steps we will take to surface the two who have been abducted, and in my case, my client, Felix. We believe that this is state. This is this was done by state agencies or through the means that some of the state entities do, because it is very similar to the circumstances of other abducted people that have either been surfaced or have not yet been found. And we are familiar with that because we are counsels to several of those cases. Which agencies took them, which units took them, or took Felix in particular, we do not know yet. But we will get to that. In the meantime, we ask the media to actually cover this case. Our experience is intense coverage will allow witnesses to come out, will give us more clarity on who is responsible and accountable. Above all, we will allow the surfacing of Felix and also of James. So we ask for your help in this regard, and my clients are ready to be interviewed to give especially the human side, as my clients have pointed out. This was a good man, an environmental defender, and that's one reason why someone like him would be abducted. We've had several environmental defenders already this year that have been abducted, and previous to this as well. So he's a friend of other human beings. He's a friend of nature. He has a long history, committed to this country. But he's also frail, and he is has illnesses to deal with. So it's very important to surface him as quickly as possible. Thank you. That's my statement as for now.
Thank you, Dean Tony Lavinia. We'd like to ask Attorney Julian Acpado from the National Union of People's Lawyers as legal counsel of the Haslinas family, Cora Haslinas, who's also here today as Attorney Julian.
Mula po sa National Union of People's Lawyers, nakakalungkot mang sabihin, pero gumamit ng kaso ng enforced appearances or pagtukot sa mga human rights defenders, hindi na siya bago. At tulad ng sinabi kanina ni Tony, yung pattern, yung circumstances by which nawala itong si James at si Felix really points to state forces being the perpetrators. By the nature ng mga kasong to, alam namin gano'ng kahirap mga susunod na mga araw, linggo, at gano'ng ka-crucial din at this early stage ng panahon na to, yung pag-gather ng information, pag-gather ng documentation, evidences, and NEPL is working with the family ni James, and also especially with Karapatan in gathering this very important information. At the moment, we are still studying or currently, syempre, consider what are the legal remedies that are available based on the facts that we know so far.
Maraming salamat, Attorney Julian. Para po sa amin sa Karapatan, nung natanggap po namin ang ulat na nawawala si James. Ito po ay noong August 26, no? At ang nag-ulat po sa amin, ito lang, nag-report po sa karapatan tumawag dito ay si Felix Salaverna Jr. Ilang araw, nung 2 araw, no? Wala. He reported na missing si James so 26, no? And then we made preparations together with Cora para sa pagpapadala ng aming quick reaction mission doon po sa Bicol kasama ang aming chapter doon. Sa course po ng pag-ikot ng quick reaction mission na yun, ito po yung lumalabas na mga punto. Una, may yung pagkawala po ni Felix Salaverna, isang nakakalungkot na dagdag na na encounter ng quick reaction mission. So, dahil sa course ng paghahanap kay James, doon nalaman, no, na pati si Felix ay dinukot din. Ayon po sa nakalap na information, team namin na nagpunta ron, alas 10 ng umaga, noong August 28, inabduct si Felix Salaverna doon po sa Barangay Barangay Cobo, Tabaco City, ng mga kalalakihan ng mga tao in plain clothes at pinwersa sa loob ng isang silver van. Yung abduction po na ito, nakitang-kita ng mga tao doon. At sila nga po mga nagbigay ng information. Di umano, ito rin po ay na-record supposedly, no, sa CCTV na barangay. Yung footage, napakita na yung plate number ng van ay BAA 5504 at mayroong logo na ang nakalagay na letters ay ATEC doon sa side ng van na ito, ng silver van na ito. Tinignan po namin kung itong plate number na ito at sinasabi na ito po sa LTO at sinabi po ay nakarehistro ito sa isang Toyota Rush SUV model, no? Na clearly ay hindi katulad ng silver, no, na van. Na SUV po yung nakita namin, kung kanino ito nakarehistro. At yung sinasabing ATEC logo, isang tech company, tinignan po namin, online checking, ay isang tech company, hindi na sa kapitalismo. Yung quick reaction team, pakiulit yung plate number. The plate number is BAA 5504. BAA 5504. Isang silver na van. Nalaman lamang po ng team namin at ni Cora tungkol sa pagdukot kay Felix ng hapon. Hapon o gabi? Hapon, no? Ng August 28. Doon po sa course ng paghahanap kay James, nakarating po ang team namin at si Cora sa mga barangay na kinauukulan kung saan naganap yung insidente. Kung saan nag-birthday, because apparently get together sila James and Felix, kasi birthday, 67th birthday, so August 23. We got together in a restaurant sa Barangay Roque, sa Tabaco City, Barangay San Roque. And then, syempre, dumulog din po sa San Lorenzo, Barangay San Lorenzo, at saka sa Barangay Cobo. Nag-inquire na rin po kami sa mga prosecutors' offices sa Tabaco at Ligao, sa regional trial courts, kasi kung may mga kaso po, no? Dahil syempre, dapat binilog yun sa korte o hiniharap sila sa korte. Pero doon po sa mga paghahanap namin, wala po the name of James Aslinas. Sinasabi na may kaso. Nandito po sa mga korte ito. Nakapag-file na rin po ng data reports si Cora doon po sa Tabaco City. PNP, dumulog na rin po sa provincial office ng Albay sa PNP CIDG Region 5. Yung isa po, ayaw nilang, kasi po pag nangikot kami, dahil alinsunod sa Republic Act 10353 for Anti-Enforced Disappearance Law, pag may mga inquiries po na ginagawa ang kahit sino man, kahit sino man, ito lang, no? Kamag-anak, lawyers, human rights organizations, media, sa mga persons in authority, hospitals, wards, no? Sa ilalim ng RA 10353, sila po ay obligado na mag-accomplish ng form at magbigay ng certification whether or not nasa kanilang kustodiya ang mga hinahanap na tao. Pero apparently, doon po sa mga opisyal ng pulis na pinagtanungan ng aming team, parang hindi pa nila alam na may ganung klaseng batas. No? Ay mahigit isang dekada na po in existence ang anti-enforced disappearance. Nakakalungkot po kasi magpahanggang ngayon at kung din po sa mga iba pang kaso ng mga pagdukot na inasistihan po ang karapatan, dededma-dedmahan, mamaang-maangan ang mga state forces natin na hindi nila alam yung batas at hindi ginagawa ang kanilang obligasyon. Pirma na nga lang diba? Sasabihin nyo naman, nandyan o wala. Ganun lang kasimple, pero hindi ginagawa. Naiulat na rin po ito sa opisina ni Albay Governor Edsel Greco Lagman ng Commission on Human Rights National Office. No? Kaya po meron talaga po kami hindi lang po ito pakiramdam. May basis po yung kami na mag-conclude na ito ay isang act. No? Ang pagdukot sa dalawa ay act ng state security forces natin. Hindi po ito ang first time na ginawa nila yan. At yung mga survivors po, ang katulad nila Junila Castro at Jet Tamano, nila Dayan Umanaw and Armand Tayoha, Stephen Tauli, all of them have attested to their experiences na tiyak sila na mga state security forces tumupot sa kanila at pumigil sa kanila na makasama ang kanila. Hindi rin po ito first time na yung mga plate numbers ng mga sasakyan na ginagamit sa abductions ay iba kung hindi nakarehistro doon sa tamang sasakyan. Remember yung kaso po ni Jonas Burgos, ito po yung inilahad sa Alipato at Mook. Nag-indicate na apparently ay yung dito yung nakarehistro sa isang piece of vehicle ay natagpuan nga nila doon sa isang kampo ng militar. Ganun din po, sa totoo lang, ganito rin po yung sinabi, nakarehistro daw sa iba, yung sasakyan, yung plate number ng sasakyan, na ginamit sa pagdukot kila Junila Castro at Jet Tamano. Yung isang reason din po, no, kung bakit namin ito nakita, tinitingnan din po namin ang patterns ng mga prior violations o prior threats sa kanila. No, ang isa lang po namin naisip sa kampo ni Felix at saka ni James ay yung paulit-ulit, yung mga nakaraan, no? Paulit-ulit na mga harassment, threats na nangyari o naranasan ng pamilya nila Adan Haslinas. No? Aside, of course, from if there is information in have received threats, no? Or surveillance sa kanilang dalawa. Malaki po ang obligasyon ng ating mga state actors, hindi lamang para ilitaw yung dalawang nawawala, kundi go to the meat, no? Yung ng issue, panagutin ang mga gumawa nito. Mag-imbestiga, ng due diligence sa pag-iimbestiga, at para mapanagot yung ganitong klase po ng krimen. Krimen po ang enforced disappearance dito sa Pilipinas. Nasa batas po natin yan. Kaya po ang every day, no, actually every second na wala po sa kanilang mga mahal sa buhay, sila James at si Felix, ay segundo ng tumatakbo, no, bilang krimen, continuing crime laban sa kanila at sa kanilang bansa. Nananawagan po kami sa Commission on Human Rights kay Chairperson Richard Palpalato na bigyan po ito ng kagyat na atensyon sa pag-iimbestiga. Nananawagan din po kami sa 9th Infantry Division at saka sa 49th Infantry Battalion ng Philippine Army na siyang responsable doon po. Area of responsibility po nila, no, ang Tabaco, Albay, na labas niyo na po kung kayo man, no, ang naging responsable dyan. Labas niyo na po si Felix at James para makasama ang kanilang mga pamilya. Nananawagan din po kami sa appropriate committees ng Senado at Kongreso, sa Committees on Human Rights, para tumulong po sa pamilya ni James at ni Felix para po sila ay makita sa lalong madaling panahon. Maraming salamat po. Bukas na po tayo para sa mga katanungan. Yun pong fact-finding, yung mission report ng karapatan na ipapadala po sa mga kasamahan natin sa media. Kung may mga questions po tayo, maaari na po ibukas na natin ngayon. No? Meron po bang mga questions sa ating mga kaibigan sa media? Yes, Jairo.
Hi, Miss Tinay. Good afternoon po. Apo, tatanong ko lang po kung ano po yung prior threats or parang mga warning na na-receive ni James sa po nung kasama niya before the abduction po. And kung red tag po ba sila both prior to the abduction? Thank you po. Miss Tinay, nakamute po yata kayo. Ayun.
Ayan. Naririnig mo na ako.
Okay na po.
Okay, so ibibigay ko mamaya doon sa kanilang mga families yung kasagutan sa okay? May tanong si Raymond. Ilan ng abduction victims under BBM? Si June po ang pang 15. So naitala po na. James po ang pang 14 under this administration. Mula po July 2020. Okay, so Gab, do you want to go ahead dun sa tanong ni Jairo? Ang tanong niya, kung may mga prior threats bang na-receive tatay mo na nasabi sa inyo or was he red tag? Go ahead, Gab.
Felicia will answer the question kung na-red tag ba si tatay nila recently, no, in the last 2 or 3 years.
Ay, magandang hapon po.
Asan ang boses mo?
I'm Felicia, sister of Gab and daughter of Felix. Wala po kaming alam na red tag or threat sa ng tatay namin. Buhay po ng tatay namin. Thank you.
I-emphasize ko lang ulit na si Felix is a environmental defender, but 'di ba yung yung kanyang environmental work is basically sa eco-way, sa cycling. We cannot imagine why he is a threat to the government, diba? And I think i-emphasize natin yun sa mga abductors niya kung bakit niya siya kinuha na yung kanyang buhay now is really also given his conditions really just gardening, cycling, eco waste.
Tony, ito po yung problem for.
Inisip ko, past 2 years, wala naman po personally. Pero dahil siya ay kapatid ni Alan, so meron pong ongoing na paghahanap kasi kay Alan. So we think that the whole family is being surveyed. At yun po ang isang malaking threat sa pamilya. Yun lang po.
May questions pa po?
Christina, ako po. Hello po, Lian. Lian.
Yan.
To the, sa Laveria family muna. May kasi dun kina James, may sightings nung van, may mga tao. Yung sa papa niyo po, may nakakita ba? Like, ano yung last kwento ng mga nakakita sa kanya? Naka-mute po.
Okay.
Linawin ko lang po, yung dun po sa naka-sighting, sa tatay ko po yung may mga nakakita. So siya po yung may CCTV na may recorded CCTV na kinuha po siya ng around 10 a.m. of August 28. At yung mga tao po sa community ay nakita rin po siyang dinukot dun po malapit sa bahay niya sa Barangay Cobo.
And dagdag lang din Lian na that evening also yung ang sa CCTV plainclothes persons yung nagdukot sa kanya hindi naka uniform, but that night pumunta ang police naka-uniform na this time at kinuha yung mga gamit niya for safekeeping daw, parang yun ang official na story. We will of course be going to Tobacco soon to retrieve those belongings of my client.
So to be clear po, both Sir James and Sir Felix may sightings. Tama ba? May nakakita na dumukot.
Tinay, kayo magsagot dun kay James.
Meron po kami mga nagbalita po sa naririnig ba?
Yes, yes po.
Kanina pa. So pwede na. Okay. Merong mga sources na nagbigay ng information sa amin na merong nakita doon sa pagdukot doon sa dalawa. Of course, lahat po ng mga posibleng sources nito ay difficult situations. Kasi si Felix nga na nag-report ng nangyari kay James, yun yung nangyari sa kanya. So, pero meron yan, may mga nag-report po sa akin. Nakakita na pareho sila pinupot.
Thanks po.
Salamat. Meron pa po questions? Paki-type po yung questions at saka yung kung email addresses niyo, if wala pa po kami, pwede po paki-lagay po dito sa chat para po maipadala namin sa inyo yung statements ng mga pamilya at yung quick reaction mission report na sa kapatid. Meron pa po. Okay, may tanong si Lian. Follow up to the Laveria family. Sir Felix was already retired in tobacco. Ano po ba yun? Yes, Tony?
Alicia will answer.
Ay, hello po.
Go ahead. Alicia.
Yes, so actually hindi po taga Bicol si tatay, pero he fell in love with the place and he's looking for a place to retire. So, ang Bicol po ay nagustuhan niya because he has always loved the provincial life. Ano, after growing up po sa city, so yun po talaga yung gusto niya, yung magtanim at ano. Nakita po niya kasi dun sa Bicol na ang ganda ng lupa, kaya gusto niyang dun tumira ng pang habang buhay na po niya.
If you've been to Tabaco po, my wife comes from the area, so Legazpi, Tabaco is a very beautiful place. Lapit din siya sa Mayon, simple ang buhay. Felix was known to be a barangay person, yung good person sa barangay, trying to settling down there. Mga 4 years na siya doon, no? Parang ganun. 2 years na siya doon. Thank you.
May questions po ang ating mga kasama. So, kung may mga follow-up din po, si Dean Tony, sa sulat. Saka, yung kung may follow-up interviews din po, mag-request lang po sa aming public intervention.
Tinay.
Yes po.
Inay, baka lang kasi hindi narinig kasi mahina din yung boses ni Felicia. So ako na lang kasi malakas yung boses ko. Sabi niya hindi daw taga doon yung papa nila, tatay nila, but fell in love with the place and looking for a place to return. Love Bicol, love the provincial life. Yun lang. Sorry, mas malakas ang boses ko sa'yo.
Sila Sir James po, taga Tabaco talaga.
Cora?
Hindi rin po siya taga doon. Pag-visit ni Felix. Oo. Kasi laki Maynila din po siya si James. So, mukhang nagkaigihan sila sa kumbinsihan doon sa pag-stay doon po.
Taon na po silang dalawang nakatira doon. May taon na.
Si James, more than 1 year lang. Si Felix doon.
Okay. Yan.
Thank you po.
Thank you. May mahapon pang question. Lalo na sa friends natin dito. Okay. Dito na kayo pipinig. Baka. Sige po, kung wala na pong tanong, nagpapasalamat po kami family ni James at ni James Sasines at sa pamilya Felix sa Liberia at humahabol si Jairo.
Opo. Sorry, Miss Tinay, last question lang po for details lang po. Just to confirm po, may anak din po ba kayo, Ma'am Cora, ni Sir James?
Opo. Meron po kayong anak. Isa po.
Opo. Isa lang po. Yun lang po. For the details lang po. Salamat po.
Thanks,
Ano
Jairo.
lang, Tina, just to add, if you need to interview my clients, you can contact me. We can try to also give you kasi gusto namin yung humanitarian side dito, yung personal kwento tungkol kay Felix, lumabas din siya. So we'll be willing to facilitate that. Thank you.
Salamat po. Kung wala na po yung mga question, salamat po ulit sa pamilya James, sa ating legal counsel, si Tony Lavinia, si Attorney Julia Nagpalo ng PL. Maraming salamat po sa mga kaibigan natin sa media. Ipapadala po namin 2 minutes written pahayag at yung quick reaction report po. Maraming pong salamat. Thank you.
Thank you. Maraming salamat.